The sacred village of Nkosi. Nkosi was a village unlike any other. Nestled in the heart of Africa, it stood proud and strong. Drums echoed through the streets, a constant reminder of the village's beating heart. At the center of Nkosi stood an ancient baobab tree, its massive trunk twisted towards the sky. Branches spread wide, offering shade to all who gathered beneath. This tree was more than just a meeting place. It was the guardian of Nkosi's most treasured possession, the sacred mask. Carved from rare wood, it bore the face of a lion. Eyes of polished amber seemed to glow with an inner fire. For generations, the mask had protected Nkosi from harm. Without it, they feared their traditions would crumble to dust. In this vibrant village lived a young man named Kofi. He was tall and lean, with eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Kofi had grown up listening to tales of the sacred mask. He dreamed of one day becoming its guardian. Every chance he got, he would sit at the feet of the elders. Kofi was different from the other young men in Nkosi. While they chased after adventure, he sought knowledge. He spent hours learning the old ways, the forgotten languages. The elders saw great potential in him. They believed he could bridge the gap between past and present. But Kofi's path was not an easy one. Many in the village thought him strange. Despite the doubts of others, Kofi remained determined. He trained his body as well as his mind. Little did he know these skills would soon be put to the ultimate test. It happened on a night when the moon hid her face. The village slept peacefully, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. A figure, cloaked in darkness, crept towards the baobab tree. With swift, silent movements, the thief snatched the sacred mask and vanished into the night. Dawn broke, bringing with it a terrible discovery. The mask was gone. Panic spread through Nkosi like wildfire. Women wailed, men shouted in anger. Children clung to their parents, sensing the fear in the air. The elders called an emergency meeting beneath the now bare branches of the baobab. Accusations flew back and forth. Who could have done such a thing? Some blamed outsiders, others suspected their own neighbors. As tempers flared, Kofi watched in silence. The chief raised his hands, calling for silence. As the meeting dispersed, a seed of an idea began to form in Kofi's mind. That night, Kofi couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned, the chief's words echoing in his head. The village needed a hero, someone brave enough to seek out the stolen mask. As the first light of dawn crept through his window, Kofi made his decision. He would be that hero. With determination in his heart, Kofi approached the Council of Elders. His voice shook slightly, but his resolve was firm. "I will find the sacred mask," he declared. "I will bring it back to Nkosi." The elders exchanged glances, surprise and doubt clear on their faces. Kofi was young, untested, but the chief saw something in Kofi's eyes. A fire, a passion that couldn't be ignored. He stepped forward, placing a gnarled hand on Kofi's shoulder. "The path you choose is dangerous," he warned. "Are you sure you're ready for this?" Kofi nodded, his chin held high. Section 5. The perilous journey begins. With the blessing of the elders, Kofi set out at dawn. The village gathered to see him off. Some offered words of encouragement, others looked on with doubt. Kofi's mother pressed a small pouch into his hand. "For luck," she whispered, tears in her eyes. Inside was a charm passed down through generations. Kofi's first challenge came quickly. The trail left by the thief led into the dense forest. Trees towered overhead, their canopy blocking out the sun. Vines hung like serpents, ready to ensnare the unwary. Kofi took a deep breath and plunged into the green twilight. As he pushed deeper into the forest, Kofi's senses sharpened. Every snapping twig, every rustle of leaves could be a threat, or it could be a clue. He was on the right path. Section 6. Facing the unknown. As dawn broke, Kofi emerged from his shelter. The forest had changed overnight. Mist clung to the ground, turning familiar shapes into looming monsters. Kofi shook off his fear. He had a mission to complete. With a deep breath, he continued on his path. The day brought new obstacles. A raging river blocked Kofi's way. The bridge had been washed out, leaving only slippery rocks. Kofi tied his belongings to his back and plunged into the icy water. The current was strong, threatening to sweep him away. But Kofi fought on, stroke after determined stroke. Exhausted, Kofi dragged himself onto the far bank. Section 7. Trials of Mind and Body. The mountain tested Kofi in ways he had never imagined. The air grew thin as he climbed, making each breath a struggle. His muscles screamed with every step. But Kofi refused to give up. He thought of the mask, of its importance to his people. That thought gave him strength to keep going. Halfway up the mountain, Kofi encountered a wise old hermit. The man's eyes sparkled with ancient knowledge. "Why do you climb, young one?" he asked. Kofi explained his quest. The hermit nodded slowly. "The mask you seek is powerful," he said. "But remember, true strength comes from within." Section 8. The Power of Tradition. As the new day dawned, Kofi faced his greatest challenge yet. Before him stood a cave, its mouth yawning wide like a beast ready to swallow him whole. Ancient symbols covered the entrance, warning of danger within. Kofi took a deep breath. This was what all his training had prepared him for. Stepping into the cave, Kofi was plunged into darkness. He fumbled for the torch in his pack, its flickering light casting eerie shadows on the walls. As he ventured deeper, the air grew thick with the scent of age and secrets. Kofi's heart raced, but he pressed on. The mask and the thief had to be here. Suddenly, the narrow passage opened into a vast chamber. Kofi gasped in awe. The walls were covered in paintings telling the history of his people. Section 9. Confronting the Thief. The thief stepped into the light, and Kofi was shocked. It wasn't some fearsome bandit, but a young woman. Her eyes blazed with determination. "You don't understand," she said. "The mask belongs to my people. It was stolen from us generations ago." Kofi hesitated. Could this be true? Had everything he believed been a lie? But then Kofi remembered the paintings on the wall. They told the true history of the mask. "No," he said firmly. "The mask was a gift, given to unite our peoples." He explained the story depicted in the cave art. The woman listened, her anger slowly fading to understanding. She had been misled by false tales. Section 10. The Triumphant Return. The journey back to Nkosi was arduous, but Kofi and Asha supported each other. They crossed raging rivers and scaled steep cliffs. Along the way, they shared stories of their peoples. Kofi was amazed at how much they had in common. He realized that the mask's true power lay in its ability to bring people together. As they neared the village, excitement built in Kofi's chest. He couldn't wait to see the joy on everyone's faces. But a small worry nagged at him. How would they react to Asha? Would they understand why he had brought her? Kofi pushed the thought aside. He trusted in the wisdom of his people. The sound of drums reached them first. Then, as they crested the final hill, Nkosi came into view. The entire village had gathered at the edge of the forest. As Kofi and Asha approached, a hush fell over the crowd. Section 11. Lessons Learned. Strength and Unity. In the days that followed, Nkosi buzzed with activity. Asha shared her people's stories, adding new chapters to the village's history. The elders listened with rapt attention, marveling at how much they had forgotten. Kofi watched with a sense of pride and wonder. He had not only returned the mask, but had also brought new life to his village. The sacred mask was returned to its place beneath the baobab tree. But now it seemed to shine even brighter. Kofi understood why. It no longer represented just Nkosi's strength, but the strength of all who believed in unity and tradition. The mask had become a symbol of friendship between peoples. Kofi's journey had changed him. He stood taller, spoke with more confidence. The villagers looked to him with newfound respect. But Kofi knew that his true strength came not from admiration, but from the lessons he had learned.